Inside Elizabeth Taylor's multiple marriages on what would have been her 95th birthday. Elizabeth Taylor was known for her multiple marriages throughout her years in Hollywood, marrying 7 different men a total of 8 times. Elizabeth Taylor was a legendary actress known for her award-winning roles and smoldering and intense gaze, but also for her 8 different marriages to 7 men over her lifetime. The star, who died on March 23, 2011, was a Hollywood legend, with starring roles in Cleopatra and Oscar wins for Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf? And Butterfield 8, among numerous other titles. However, her multiple marriages made her a tabloid fixture, with one of her husbands notably shocking many with a surprise reveal upon his own death. The star infamously wed 8 times, to 7 different men. Her love life began with broken engagements and interest from many men in Hollywood from a young age. However, what became her most memorable trait, being a bride, started at age 18, with her first short-lived marriage. Taylor married Conrad Nicky Hilton Jr., the heir to the Hilton Hotels chain, in a lavish affair on May 6, 1950, but things quickly soured on their love affair, with allegations that Hilton was abusive and a heavy drinker. He was also blamed after she suffered a miscarriage during one of his alleged violent outbursts. Taylor announced their separation on December 14, 1950, and was granted a divorce on the grounds of mental cruelty on January 29, 1951, just 8 months after their wedding. Taylor then remained single until she married her second husband, actor Michael Wilding, who was 20 years her senior, on February 21, 1952. The two went on to have 2 sons together, Michael Howard and Christopher Edward, before the pair began to drift apart. After she left to film Giant in 1955, according to her biography by Alexander Walker, a scandal erupted when he was reported to have entertained strippers in their home. They announced their separation on July 18, 1956, and were divorced on January 26, 1957. However, she wasn't single for long, and at 3 months pregnant, just days later, she married her third husband, Mike Todd, in Mexico on February 2, 1957. They welcomed their daughter, Elizabeth Liza Francis, that August. Unfortunately, the marriage lasted just over a year, as he died in a plane crash on March 22, 1958, leaving Taylor devastated. Taylor was later branded a homewrecker after she found comfort in a friend, Eddie Fisher, who was married to actress Debbie Reynolds at the time. Despite the scandal, she and Fisher wed in Las Vegas on May 12, 1959. She admitted later on that she married him out of her grief, and they were divorced on March 5, 1964. During the marriage, however, Taylor began an affair with her Cleopatra co-star Richard Burton, and the two married 10 days after her divorce from Fisher was finalized. He went on to adopt her daughter Liza, and a German orphan, Maria McEwen, whom Taylor had started the adoption process of while married to Fisher. She and Burton became Hollywood royalty and were known for a jet-setting lifestyle during their decade of marriage, which also saw them star together in 11 films. They divorced in June 1974. However, the pair quickly reconciled, and Burton went on to hold the distinction of being Taylor's only 2-time spouse, after they remarried in October 1975. The reunion was short-lived. However, they divorced a second time and called it quits for good in July 1976. A few months later, she married John Warner, a Republican politician from Virginia. After taking their vows on December 4, she focused on his electoral campaign and, following his election to the Senate, on life as a politician's wife in Washington, D.C. However, finding life boring, she became depressed and addicted to drugs and alcohol, ultimately leading to a separation in December 1981 and a divorce on November 5, 1982. Following that divorce, Taylor had several high-profile relationships and even 2 engagements before meeting her 7th and final husband, construction worker Larry Fortensky, at the Betty Ford Center in 1988. Don't miss. The two married at Michael Jackson's Neverland Ranch on October 6, 1991. However, the two divorced on October 31, 1996, and remained friends over the years since. The friendship saw her sticking by his side and guaranteeing his medical expenses after a brain surgery in 1999, and she spoke to him on the phone prior to her death. Following her death, it was revealed she had left him $825,000 in her will.